So welcome to another edition of Savannah Community Headlines Live. I'm your host, Marjorie Young. This show is better known as the Water Cooler. It was created during the pandemic as a way for all of us to stay together in the Savannah area and let each other know what's going on. We've got a really special guest today, Eve Williamson. She's got her own show on WRUU. She's a national bestseller. And her area of expertise, among other things, is health and wellness. And we're going to find out what is your message, Evie? I have to read this first. This is really interesting. It says, the interview with Eve Williamson on wellness. Physical, mental, and social well-being begins digging your grave with your teeth. Is your diet. That's a powerful, powerful statement.
Yeah. Hi, Marjorie. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it. When I say digging your grave with your teeth, eating ourselves to death, health and wellness, just eating ourselves, not just eating a bunch of sugar, taking in a bunch of fat, not having a green leafy vegetable diet, not drinking plenty of water, but eating all the wrong stuff. Me, I'm one of those people. I like pasta. I like bread. I love sugar. I could live off sugar. I know that doesn't sound very healthy, but just keeping it real, that's where I'm at. But yeah, we tend to dig our graves with our teeth, and it's important to be mindful of everything that we put into our mouth, into our diet, into our food. And eating can be fun, eating healthy. You don't have to eat like a rabbit or anything like that. You can just be creative with your meals. My daughter has recently gotten me into some vegan meals. I've opened my mind up to vegan meals, and actually the food is pretty good, pretty darn good.
What's your favorite meal?
A vegan, well, we had vegan chili over the weekend. My daughter made vegan chili over the weekend, and I had never had it, and it was so good, and people have been asking me to start putting recipes up on my website. So I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start sharing recipes. I was going to be, before our garden got flooded here at SSU, and you were at the new dedication of our garden. I was very happy with growing something. I'd never grown anything. Like I joke with you, I just stopped holding my breath raising my twins, and they're 32. Okay. So, health and wellness encompasses everything. It encompasses our finances. It encompasses our social well-being, our mental well-being, and all of us. The whole world has been on an emotional roller coaster, especially with COVID and a lot of different things. So self-care is essential. Sometimes we have to shut it down completely, or our body will shut it down for us.
That's a powerful statement.
It's true. It's true. Ask any physician. I have friends who have they kept going and going and going, and finally their body said, no more, I'm done. And it shuts down. And we don't want to get to that point.
How do you know you're at that point, Evie?
We can all feel when we're pushing ourselves too hard. There's times like I got out in the yard this weekend and cut the grass. I cut the front and the back, and it's a lot of grass to cut. But anyway, I did it, and I was like, oh, exercise. And, I was breathing all heavy and everything like that. And I finally just said, you know what? I need to take my own advice and stop. As a 58-year-old woman, let me stop for a minute and just catch my breath and drink a little water and then get back to it. So yeah, our bodies tell us when it's pushed to the limits, and we know. And unfortunately, we're a nation that doesn't shut down. We go 24 hours a day. We don't do 30-day holidays like they do in Europe and other countries. We don't have siestas like they do in South America. And, we're the only country where the employees drop dead at their desk, and, everything keeps going. But no, we have to take care of ourselves in all areas of our lives. It's important. And especially with COVID, reach out to someone, coworker, your neighbor, people across the street, even the mailman, or the people who pick up your garbage. Hey, how are you doing today? It takes less than 3 seconds to say it. How are you doing today? Everything okay?
Yeah.
And whether they're honest or not, the fact that someone asked about them, you might be the only person all day long to ask them a question. So
it's a really good reminder, actually. You just never know. You never
mindfulness.
know what somebody's going through.
I was telling my good friend Henry in Atlanta, I was sharing some mindfulness with him, and he calls it mindlessness. And I'll keep reminding him, no, it's mindfulness. And, breathing, the 5 in, 8 out, the importance of just remembering to breathe. Why is
that so important, Evie?
Because it generates, it helps with blood flow. It helps with oxygen. And it gives your brain a second to reboot. When you stop and you do that breathing, so you're conscious of that, your chest rising, up and down. You're conscious of the sound of your breathing. You're conscious of how taking that breath really makes you feel. And if anybody is listening, we can do it real quick. We can practice. It's going to be 5 in, 8 out. All right. When we are ready, if everybody's ready, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So it's 5 in, 8 out. 5 in, 8 out. I don't know how.
That absolutely does.
It does. It takes you down a notch. It takes you down a notch. And even like if you're in a high stressful meeting or in a conversation, or maybe a conversation that's a little stressful, you don't have to just necessarily do it out in the open.
Yeah.
But in your mind, you can do that breathing, and it gives you a moment to just take a breath.
There's actual science that goes with this. Doesn't it reduce the cortisol? I mean, it's proven.
It does. It does. And breathing is good for your weight. When you're not breathing, your body is like, okay, there's a reserve going on here. So I'm going to reserve everything. I'm going to reserve the food. I'm going to do this. I'm not, your body thinks for whatever reason, it's being starved. It's being, refuse something. And so naturally it's going to kick in and say, oh, she's not breathing. So, but that kind of stuff is very, very important. On my show, we talk about everything. We talk about the importance of politics. And I would be remiss if I didn't go into politics. And all of my friends across the country are asking, whose campaign are you on? Whose campaign? No one's campaign, I'm glad to say. But, we
just got to give people watching some background.
Oh, okay. I have 20 some years with politics with the DNC, was raised in the business. I hate to say it, but it was an easy A job for me. That's why I've always done it. It was easy to do. I did a little lobbying in Atlanta under the Gold Dome. I'm happy to say I'm real happy working with art and cultural enrichment now, kids, and Savannah State University. So that's where I'm at. But on my show, I did have Donna Williams on, who's running for City Council at large, Mayor Pro Tem of Garden City, and the importance of making sure everybody's registered to vote. Today's the deadline, people. So if you're not registered to vote, if you haven't done your vote change of address form, it's important. I talked to a group of students this morning, just in the student union, they were getting ready to have an event. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about in the auditorium, being nosy? And they were telling me, I didn't hear anything about voter registration. They were all freshmen. And I was like, your voter registration isn't going to follow you from wherever you're from. So if you're not registered to vote here, you can't vote. You can't vote, period. So you're going to have to do it. And there is a deadline. And they were like, oh, really? Really? You know, a lot of people don't know that your voter registration does not follow you when you do a change of address.
They don't. And I know that the Savannah Tribune and the Current will be having a discussion about voting tomorrow night live.
Good.
6:30. And also on Wednesday, they'll be doing another panel discussion of how to get more people lined up to vote.
And that's good. And it's important, you know, no matter who you support, no matter what party you support, you are an American, those listening, and you need to exercise your right. That's it. You know, the right, wrong, left, right doesn't matter. That's your right.
It's our freedom. I mean,
yes.
I mean, God forbid we ever have that taken away from us. So,
and God knows certain folks who will remain nameless are trying, you know, but I mean, we can't have our heads in the sand. It's our responsibility. Yes, we are brother and sister's keeper. So that's why I feel, even though I'm not working nationally anymore, I'm not on the ground in the field, which I loved when I did it. But I'm still getting that message out there. It's still very, very important. You know, voting covers so much, and you know, I don't want to hear one person complain. If you don't vote, if you don't get out there, you don't complain.
I'd like to point out that in 2008, you did work on a now historical presidential election with President Obama.
Yeah, there were 3,000 of us worldwide that were part of that staff. 3,000, and that was a campaign like I had never done and have not seen since. The training was so intense, the preparation and the constant. I mean, it was a well-greased machine. It was down to the every Monday morning meetings with then Senator Obama. And you know, he's a no nonsense boss, you know, is my way or the highway, you know, and you had to he had to do that to keep 3,000 people worldwide all on the same page.
Evie, so, I would love for you to come into my class when we talk about government and politics and talk specifically about running the campaign with
the campaign offices and stuff. Yeah. Okay. All right. Only because it's you. But all my coworkers are gonna frown at me because they have asked me to come to their classes, and I keep saying no. I don't want to. I'm good where I'm at. But,
you know, I think it had to have been very stressful for you to actually take this turn in your career and really focus on health and wellness. And what was the point that you went, I need to do something different?
In 2010, my doctor found a lump on my left breast, and it was benign, thank God. It got removed. But I think the constant 7 days a week, 365 day, 15-hour work days, was a lot. You know, I was in my early 40s at that time, you know, and I'm pretty healthy, you know, thank God. No meds, knock on lots of wood, take lots of vitamins and try to rest. But the constant being on was a lot. It was exhausting.
So what advice do you have on balancing your life? Is that a myth? Or is that a real thing? And
it's a real thing. Yes, it is a real thing, but it's learned behavior. It's learned behavior. Because when I worked with then Senator Obama, and then again President Obama, you know, it was I was always in my email, always had MSNBC on. I slept with it on. So I lived, ate, and breathed politics, and everyone who met me wanted to spend hour-long conversations talking about politics. And I knew that it was just a lot. Like I said, in 2010, any conversations I had regarding politics, it became irritating.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hurry up and get the conversation over. And I really don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that it had run its course.
That was protecting yourself, your energy.
I think so. Even though I wasn't smart enough at the time to say, okay, this is way too stressful. This is really stressful. But my twins had graduated from high school. They're gone off to college, so it was a time for me to kind of refine myself again. And, and traveling all over the country is very exhausting. In 2014, during the re-election, I had Las Vegas, Nevada as my territory, and ended up going to, it's 2012 to Denver for the convention. I got to the hotel. My cell phone had one time. The car clock had one time, and the clock in the hotel room had another. I had no idea what time it was. I literally didn't know what time it was. And so that was another indicator that, okay, it's time to leave the party while you're still standing. Because unfortunately, we did have people on the campaign under the age of 40 that unfortunately that dropped dead in their offices, or just it was just, the pressure was too much. So when I was asked by WRUU to be part of their WRUU family, I was like, I took a whole summer. I was like, what do I even want to talk about? What do I care enough to even talk about on a weekly basis? And at that time, I was really getting into the mindfulness and all areas of health and wellness. And here we are, 2021.
So Evie, when you look back on your life during that really stressful time, what would you say are the top one or two things that you would tell people now what would you have done differently?
I really don't think I would have done anything differently, because I had an amazing support system.
Okay.
From whether I wanted them or not. A lot of my volunteers.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah. I have a great network that looked after me, that called me, that all the years that I worked in the field, I had a network. And anytime I went to Pennsylvania, which was my territory a lot of the time, I had volunteers just bringing me food, bringing me stuff, saying, are you resting? So it was like, I just thank God for those people, even though I wouldn't reach out or anything. They're like, are you resting? Are you eating? Are you sleeping?
But you weren't.
I wasn't, but they reminded me of the importance. Do you have, like out in Nevada, it was like, where do you go get away? Where do you get away? I'm like, get away? I don't know what that even means. Where do you go hide? When do you get your nails done? What do you do for you? I'm like, take a shower. I mean, brush my teeth. That's what I do for me. And so I have to say, it was my network. It was my volunteers. It was my team that cared about my well-being.
Nice.
So,
gosh.
Yeah.
So what else do you guys talk about on WRUU? What are some of the tips and advice you share with listeners?
Oh my gosh, we've had the art of financial health and wellness. We talk about financial health and wellness, educational health and wellness, programming. Different.
Did you have Donna Williams on with Center Park talking about financial?
Yes. Well, I had Donna Williams on talking about Center Park, and I've also had her on talking about her Sister to Sister program. But this last Saturday, she was on talking politically about her political campaign, which was really, really good. We've had some really, the president of the 100 Black Men. We've had numerous authors on the show. We've just had, we've had real estate people, the art of real estate. I make everything the art of. And then we talk about whatever this person is bringing to the table in the community. And we just make it an interesting 53-minute conversation. Yeah.
So your book, tell us about your book.
Parenting Wisdom 101.
Mm-hmm.
That, well, I have Souls of My Young Sisters, where I was a contributing author. And it was a funny story. They approached me. I was driving back after the Obama campaign, after we won in 2008. I was driving back from Pennsylvania back home to Georgia, exhausted. And a publishing company called me and said, we want your perspective on Obama as an Obama staffer. What's your perspective? I was like, I just want to go home, sleep for 30 days, and I'll call you guys back. And they said, we'll be in Atlanta. This was I was driving on Friday. They said, we'll be in Atlanta at the Ritz-Carlton in Buckhead on Monday. We'll see you at noon. So out of curiosity.
So resting.
I know, right? So I did, just out of curiosity. And I told them, I said, I'm not an author. I haven't written anything. I've kept a journal this whole time. So anyway, I submitted my stuff, and I became the book's icon. Go figure. And my chapter was the final chapter in the book, saying goodbye. I said goodbye to, my twins who left for school, packed up everything, put stuff in storage, traveled with the Obama campaign all across the country like a little hippie. It was great. Disclaimer, they paid me well. And then also in the midst of all that, I lost the love of my life. He died while I was on the campaign trail. So there was a lot of change that was going on.
Oh, wow.
A lot in my life. And, I've come a mighty long way. But I'm glad to be here in Savannah. This pace is slower. Meeting people like you is wonderful. It's like I've totally reinvented myself, and I'm still reinventing. The art of reinventing. I want to do a whole segment on that, because it's easier said than done.
Evie, you have to meet this woman who just came into Rotary today, Dr. Julie Olson. She just is publishing a book called Now That Would Have Been Good to Know.
I like that.
It's about transition. So she interviewed, I think, 15 different people that were transitioning, and tips that could have helped them along the way.
Yeah, well, there was a couple times when I considered, well, maybe I need to get back into politics, but I'm like, I just don't want to do that. And so I'm on the second campaign cycle where I'm not working politically, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that fact.
You set up a boundary and you stuck to it.
I had to. And even people who knew me across the country, who know me across the country, I always know when it's election time or something major has happened in the country. I don't have to watch the news because I get calls. What do you think about X, Y, and Z? Like I'm some expert. And, I always get these, what do you think? Well, how do you think that's going to turn out? I don't know. But it's, I'm loved.
Yeah.
I'm loved, and I appreciate that. And then with Parenting Wisdom 101, that was a labor of love. The same publishing company wanted me to do another book. I was like, look, people, I can't write nothing. And so they gave me an advance, which I had to write the book. And it's only a 70-some page Parenting Wisdom 101 in my experience raising twins. And
what's the takeaway with that?
It was a labor of love. I said, I just can't write one word. I just can't do this. I'm going to have to give you all your money back. I can't do it. And they were like, look, close your computer, get out of your house, and just let it come to you. And that's exactly how it did. Yeah. I went to the beach. I called a friend and said, hey, is your condo in use? I just need to get away for a minute. And they're like, yeah, go on, all you had did. And I didn't listen to the radio, didn't turn the TV on, and it just came to me, just like water, like flooding through, so yeah, that's definitely my labor of love, parenting wisdom 101. And now my kids, my adult twins, have been bugging me for the past year. They're like, Mom, you need to do a sequel, parenting wisdom 101, page 2, or or something. But I don't know. We'll see.
So have you had anybody from Healthy Savannah on your show?
I have. Nichelle Hoskins. Good. A couple times she's been on my show. Her story is absolutely amazing. When she, as young as she is, when she was telling me about her heart and the silent killer of women. And, my mother died of heart disease. And so I have a very special place in my heart, so to speak, for that. It's a number one killer. It's a silent killer of women. And speaking of not paying attention to the body's warning signs, like diabetes is a silent killer. So is heart disease in women. And it's important to get everything checked out. Go to your doctor.
There's no signs at all. I mean,
a lot of times I asked her, a lot of times it's confused with something else, a cramp or indigestion or fatigue, or sometimes there's nothing and it just happens.
Wow.
So it was, like her story was just amazing to me. She ran, she jogged, she ate good, and just her heart gave out. She ended up in emergency surgery in her 30s. So there are a lot of stories like that's out there, and it is scary. It's like, you don't know. And so with all the stress that we're under, with a lot of the bad food that we eat, and just the toxic environments that you can be in at work or at home, it can put a lot of stress on your heart. My mom used to say the heart is very fragile. That's why it's protected by a rib cage. It's very fragile. And it is.
Interesting. So what would you eat? What do you now eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Oh my gosh. Sometimes I might have oatmeal. I'm from the Midwest, so we ate oatmeal and bacon and toast every day. My dad made that every morning for school. In the Midwest, you want to stay warm, so you eat those hearty breakfasts. But I eat fruit. I may eat a bagel, drink some coffee, some juice, whatever. But I nibble all day. This is my apple. This is my snack from lunch. From breakfast, grapes. My brothers call me a grazer. So I graze all day. So I'm always eating some sort of fruit or raisin. And my coworkers tease me, what kind of snacks do you have? What kind of healthy snacks do you have in your drawer?
A good example.
Well, it's just a lifestyle. It's just a lifestyle. So,
So Evie, what else would you like everybody to know about wellness? You want to talk about the difference between health and wellness?
Yes, health and wellness. Health is the physical. The wellness is the mental and the spiritual. And that all mind, body, and spirit is all one foundation. It really is. You can't have a sound mind with a out of whack body and an out of whack spirit, because they'll fight against each other. It all has to be one thing, mind, body, and spirit. And again, I'm not saying that you need to, set Indian style and, do all that stuff. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's simple as mindfulness on the go. It's as a man thinketh, so is he.
Right.
And that is so true. And it's baby steps. You can start with just breathing. something
5
that
in, 8 out.
in and out. Yeah, just breathing. Just start with breathing.
You know, they talk about calming your mind. In a normal day, like you're thinking 5 million things and what if.
Mindfulness.
The monkey mind. And then if you can stop that, it will bring peace all over your entire body. But you got to learn to just
do it.
Turn this off and stop thinking.
And you know, you can do mindfulness anywhere. You can sit at your desk. It doesn't take 30 minutes. It doesn't take 20. It doesn't take 5. Just, you can do it throughout the day. You can just like your morning break or your afternoon break or lunch or right before bed or whatever. And you can say, oh yeah, you know what? I need to breathe right now. You can set your Apple phone, and say, you know what? It'll ding you. It'll ding you and say, breathe. And so that little thing that we do naturally, we deprive ourselves of, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because we think we don't have time, but we do, because all we have is right here and right now.
Go. Right. And like in the midst of all that, go, are you breathing in and out? And so something that simple is mindfulness. And when you breathe, it makes the blood circulate. It gives you energy to your heart. You know, it's a positive thing. But a lot of times, I mean, I still catch myself just not breathing. I haven't taken a breath, that shallow breathing. And that's not healthy. If anything, it's harder on your body, shallow breathing, instead of taking the deep breath and breathing and that sort of thing. And another thing that I want to mention too, who you have around you, association, it's important to have the right people around you. So.
Yeah, I think of everything in terms of energy. Is the energy good or is the energy bad? And we know enough. We know when it's not good, and we know when it's
you feel in your gut. You follow your gut. You got to follow your gut. Your gut's never wrong.
I am looking for this app that I used during the beginning of the pandemic. Oh, and I'm not seeing it. There it is. 10% happier. Have you heard of that one?
No, I like that. 10% happier.
And it's all about mindfulness. And the person who invented it was on Good Morning America when he had a panic attack and he realized he needed help. So he created this app. He was a journalist, so he went out and he interviewed all these famous people who know how to meditate. And it's all on this app. It is like $100 a year, but it's from the most trained yoga teachers and meditation teachers available. And it's completely changed his life. And the other one I downloaded was Insight Timer. And that's an open source. People with anybody who wants to go on and put their breathing practice or their yoga practice, you go on and you can donate to your favorite instructor, and it's worldwide.
Oh, cool. Well, I know Oprah does a thing with Deepak Chopra. It's great. I'm part of that, and each month they'll send you what the meditation is, and each morning at a certain time they come on, you join, you set, you close your eyes, you visualize, you focal. It really centers you.
That visualization, what a man thinketh.
It's true. It's true.
The secret to life.
Yeah. And words have power. Words have power. Speak it and make it so. That's one of the things I'm always saying. And don't get me wrong, folks. Don't think I'm just skipping through the daisies, eating healthy, got my mindfulness going on. It isn't like that at all. It is a lifestyle. It is a constant being mindful. Am I breathing? Am I eating? Am I sleeping good? Sometimes you just have to shut it down. You have to turn off the cell phone, turn off the computer, turn the porch light off and just relax. Maybe find a funny show or something that doesn't require a lot of mental energy
TikTok, unfortunately.
Oh my God. I can't, I'm all for whatever. I just don't get it. But by the time I guess I overthink things. By the time I think about what they're talking about, it's like it's gone. But I haven't had a moment to process what they're talking about.
I love the old format of TikTok. 1 minute. No, I don't like that they've upped it to 3 because my attention span when I'm trying to just relax is not 3 minutes. I just keep swiping.
Yeah, and see, I hate all the swiping stuff because you don't get to, that's why I don't like Facebook. You never get to the end of it.
Ever. Well, TikTok's the same way. So if you haven't started on it, don't go there.
No, I'm not. My producer is wanting me. I have to get a shout out to Kate Saxton. She's an excellent producer for the Art of Health and Wellness. She has dragged me kicking and screaming at times into social media technology, and for her, I'm very grateful and very thankful. And she's fabulous. And so I just, we had our 1 year anniversary of working together. She reminded me, and she's just awesome. She's wonderful. She came to WRUU as an intern and just gravitated to me and just really, really did a lot with my show. So I'm very grateful for her. Very grateful.
Well, how can people, first of all, tell me what time your show is on and how we can tune in?
Yeah. So WRUU 107.5 is weekly on Sunday at 2:00. We do a lot of pre-recording on the show, especially with COVID. But it's on every Sunday, WRUU 107.5, FM 2:00, The Art of Health and Wellness with me, Eve Williamson. And then also we have a podcast, and on the podcast, that's done every Thursday live, and we always have really cool guests. And
on WRUU?
I'm sorry?
Is it on WRUU?
No, the Art of Health and Wellness is its own standalone podcast.
Wow.
Yeah. But she's got me on Spotify, Anchor, all about 5 different. I know I don't sound very knowledgeable of my own show. That's how good my producer is.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And this is what is that? Is that Twitter?
That's my Instagram.
Oh, Instagram. Okay.
At the.ahw.show. That's Instagram, and Facebook is ahw/ELW. And we have a lot of great followers, and you guys, thank you so much. If any of my followers are listening, you guys give great show ideas. Everybody was really interested in the garden, and that was really great, giving gardening tips and gardening ideas, and I just appreciate that. Put a pin in it. The garden is still there. I just have to find time to plant. Anybody would like to volunteer at my plot? It's at Savannah State University, plot 21. So you can come see me in journalism, mass communications. I actually still have seeds that need to be planted, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
So how else can people get in touch with you? Do you have an email or?
Yeah. I have a Art of Health and Wellness email. Our email address is it's Gmail. It's the.ahw.show@gmail.com. Excellent. Oh yeah, you asked where else we're on Anchor, Hootsuite, Apple, and Plant.
Fantastic.
That's my producer, Kate. This 20-something SCAD graduate. She's amazing. We're getting ready to launch our first wine and canvas, where the proceeds will go to support our initiative with the Frank Cullen Boys and Girls Club, which is definitely my labor of love. We do art and cultural enrichment, K through 12. So, but the age group we're going to be working with at the Frank Cullen Boys and Girls Club is going to be middle schoolers. Interesting age. We've all been middle school age. So, but we have some really great things planned for them. And we're, like I said, very, very excited. And some of the funding from the Wine and Canvas that's going to launch. Just follow our website and everything, and we'll be able to tell you when it's going to launch. So sign up, because it's going to a great cause. It's really going to a great cause with these kids.
Evie, thank you so much for being on the Water Cooler Savannah Community Headlines Live.
I've had fun.
Yeah.
So have you looked at your schedule to let me know when you're going to be on my show, hon?
We'll figure that out. I might. So my class at Savannah State teaching PR actually starts next week. So,
and we can't wait to have you here. You're going to do fabulous.
Thank you all so much for asking.
Yeah. No, we're honored. We're honored. Yeah.
We're excited. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie, but maybe we could get some of the students to watch you produce your podcast, because those are real skills they need to learn.
And you know, that's fine. And I do a lot of remote recording because of COVID.
Yeah.
Instead of going in the studio, or my producer and I will go in off hours, when no one's coming in before us, or no one's coming in behind us, that sort of thing. So we're trying to stay as safe and as healthy as we can. So, but we have a home studio set up. Kate has set up the home studio.
Even better. That's my favorite.
It's fun. It's great. It's great. We got all the little studio equipment. It's so much fun. And so we're good.
Excellent. Well, Evie, thank you so much for being on the Water Cooler, and thank you for what you do in the community. And we will see you all next time on the Water Cooler. See you soon.
Yes, you will.